Hey guys, Trevor John coming at another Watcher of Realms video. Alright, so it's been a little while since I've uploaded, but I do want to go ahead and do a quick video on the top 5 characters that I am actually utilizing in Watcher of Realms, as I do still play this actually more now than what I was before. Things kind of slowed down with me a little bit with the Path of Exile thing. And so I've been playing this game a lot more. I've been trying to spend some time with the wife, and this one's a lot easier to play on the couch with the wife as well. So I've been actually engaging a lot more and really enjoying it. So we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna cover the top 5 that I'm using, maybe a couple that I would swap out. But more importantly, I'm going to explain why I'm using them as my top 5, because you don't have to necessarily use the same top 5 as me, but you may want to copy a little bit of the strategy and kind of the thought process that I have behind why I like to use these characters. Now, as a lot of you guys know, there are a lot of champions in this game. You are not guaranteed to get all of them. If I open up my gallery, I am fairly lucky that I do have 111 out of 144. That's pretty good odds. It's actually a little bit above the rest of everyone else. And I have spent a little bit of money, so that's why I'm at that point. Now, I know a lot of other people have more legendaries than I do even, but I seem to have gotten a lot of the good quality legendaries as well. So take that with a grain of salt when I'm going through my roster here and kind of explain to you what characters I use and the role that they play. So first things first character that I always use in every lineup is going to be Baron. The main reason why I'm using Baron is because the way I have him currently geared, he takes almost no damage and he constantly regens himself. How does he do that? He's got Awakened Mastery right here. And on top of that, we make sure to make him super tanky. All the HP bonuses here. We're going to keep his rage up so that way he keeps regenning it. We're also, as you can see here, he's got plus 54%. It's a little bit lower than I would like. I'd like to see that up at a higher range, but honestly, it works super well at this point. And we pair him with some other champions that I'm going to talk about that make him just basically, he doesn't die. I purposely am rocking the damage taken minus 15% on him because he's my main blocker. He actually can do all my content for me, and I don't have to worry about dying. I just know if I put Baron down, he's self-sufficient. Don't give him a healer. He doesn't need it. So he's number 1. He's in almost all my fights. The next one I bring in is going to be Vortex. So we have a major tank. That's always my first one. And then the next is Vortex, which is going to be my second one. And that's probably because, honestly, after some testing, Vortex feels like the best healer on my account. Now, there's a couple other top tier legendary healers out there, but I don't have them. But what I do have is I have Hollow, I have Lightlock, and I have Vortex. I've used all of them, and I also have Dolores because she does some heals as well. Now, after testing all of these guys here, Vortex is definitely the best healer for me and the way I play. So he's going to be always on my list as well. So right from the beginning, we have 2 epics that make the roster top 5 every single time, no matter what challenge I'm trying to achieve. The next one is going to be, I guess, kind of a no-brainer to some people. Arrogance. Arrogance is by far my greatest damage dealer champion that I have. Now, he's only second or first to Hatsat, who's second. She does a crap ton of damage as well, but he just destroys things. So the fact that his crit's almost at 100% here, and he's got all attack bonus here, he does a lot of damage for me, and honestly, he is my powerhouse. I rely on him a lot to go ahead and clear things out, because as you know, with my Baron, as I showed you guys the stats and the gear that's on him, he doesn't do any damage. So what I do is I put Baron down, I put Arrogance behind him, and then the next play after that is always playing Vortex, getting the healer out. Reason being is every single fight usually has one lane that opens first that's active, so I like to focus primarily on getting that one set and good to go. And I know if I put in Baron, I put in Arrogance, and I put Vortex all in the same vicinity, they won't die, nothing will get by them, everything will die super quick. So those top 3 in themselves synergize so well that I don't have to worry about a lot of the other mechanics on some of these other harder game modes. Now, the other ones that I bring in here are pretty common picks, I would think. For example, most fights require at least 2 blockers, 1 to 2 healers, and at least several DPS, right? That's general vicinity of almost all of the content in the game at this point. So my second blocker has actually become King Hars. Now, I was rocking Torador because I think he rates just a little bit higher on the defense realm of things. He's actually, because of his particular skill set here with his ultimate and his Lord skill here, he does help a lot, especially because I have so many of the same faction as him, right? So they get a boost every time we use him. So he's definitely very, very good. I don't want to downplay him. However, I've actually started using King Hearts here because the shield ability that he has. So what I've done is, once again, I have him kitted out a little similar to Baron, right? Rage regen, damage taken. He's a blocker. That's what I'm going to utilize him for. And I even have a rage regen ring on him. So reason being is because I want to proc his ultimate as many times as I can, so that way I can do that shield and freeze the game, or freeze the area, right? Like, that's the benefit of his ultimate. So I feel like as long as I'm rocking him in conjunction with everyone else, between Baron and King Hars, I keep everyone alive and healthy, as well as they all stay shielded because of his passive ability, which then makes any of the other damage dealers I bring in, I don't have to worry about nearly as much as I would if I didn't have like a global shield, right? Because basically King Hars, his shield will synergize with Vortex shield. So between the two of them, almost everyone has a shield, which is great because then the longevity of the fight isn't necessarily, oh crap, can I just keep everyone healed? It's more so, oh hey, everyone's got a shield, they're fine. So it definitely makes a big difference, and making sure to synergize everything appropriately is key to making this work as well as it does. So that's the top 4 that I utilize, and I utilize them all the time. The 5th one is actually going to be kind of a toss-up, to be honest with you guys, but it's going to probably be Zillitu here. She's always been one of my favorites. She was one of the early ones I pulled. I've really enjoyed her. I put her in basically all damage dealing and trying to do, ignore defense here. Attack, we got our crit is super low. I gotta actually probably re-gear her a little bit more and make a bigger difference, but her attack power is great, especially because of the burn that she puts on the enemy, I believe. Yeah, burning right here. But yeah, so she helps a lot. She does a lot of damage for me. And what I do is I usually put her behind my King Hars. And that way I can kind of have my defender and then immediately have the the powerful DPS unit right behind them with a decent range. So that way it's killing things before it gets to them. And then I can also stack it up, and so that way they don't get overrun, because they can only block up to 3 people per time. Now, those 5 are going to be the most common used on my account. If you look at any of the compilations for anything, it's typically what you're going to see. And every now and then you'll see where I will flip-flop out Zillitu for Hazat, depending on what I got going on. But normally I'll bring them all in. So I'll bring them all in, and that'll be my roster going into doing a lot of the content. But it works out super well because of just the amount of pure damage that they do. So when I come over here and we look at, say, what is it, Gear Raid 2, we made it up to stage 15 here. If I go fight, as you can see, the reason why I'm able to do this one as well as I am is literally because of these 2 units here, stacking Arrogance and Zillitu together, double healer, or triple healer actually on this one, long range, Hazat, and then single target nuker. Like, this type of a flow or gameplay seems to work really well for me, more so than a lot of the other types, right? So strategizing and coming up with different ways is one way to play the game. However, usually if you can find the common core, like, hey, these are the champions that you are going to be your go-to, things get a little easier, because I've actually started to notice as I'm playing more, as I'm doing more gear ratings, right? So I'm going through and I'm making sure to play these tournaments to make sure to get as much rewards back as I can get, and trying to stack up my gear, right? You need good gear to make good progress in the game. And unfortunately, I can't get past 13 right now in Gear Raid 1. Now, I think if I just tweak some few things, I could probably do it. But right now, I'm just like right at the cusp of failing. And really, I need to be getting into stage 13 and above, because I want to start getting the mythic set items, right, for your main weapons. Because right now, I can't get any of those. And I'm definitely feeling it. My characters definitely feel it, because I'm still rocking a lot of the gold gear, not the red gear. And honestly, it's just significantly worse, right? And that's just the whole concept. It's like, hey, you want to get better gear so you can progress content and so on and so forth. But also, you always want to make sure that you have the good knit main core group of characters decked out as best as you can. So actually I identified a problem in my own setup here where Zilla 2 is probably gonna get remade. I'll probably regear, do some testing, see how she does. But yeah, focusing primarily on the top 5 champions on your account is going to be the best advice you can do, especially if if you're trying to play and cover a lot of ground here. Having 2 super solid defenders is a must. Having 2 nukers behind them, I highly recommend it, especially if they can do ground and air. And then also just having a solid healer. Now there's 3 solid healers that are fairly easy, that are all epics, and I would definitely recommend any of you guys taking them. If you use Vortex, if you use Hollow, or if you use Lightlock, they're all solid healers for playing the game and general progression. So definitely make sure to invest in them, and definitely make sure to keep up on your top 5 that you use on your account. Also, I'd love to hear, post down below, who's the top 5 that you're using? Is there a combination? Is there like a god tier synergy that I'm missing? I would love to hear it, and I'd love to hear any of the feedback from you guys. All right, that's gonna do it for this video. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Hopefully this helped you pick your own starting roster to utilize and why you utilize them as well. And I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.